We have two big piles of books behind me, and these are all the books that I will be reading in 2024. I normally read 1 or 2 books a month, so I think that these are going to be enough and they will last me for the whole year, but we will see. These are 19 books, and I'm pretty sure that these are going to last for the whole year. I might end up getting more books from the library or getting more secondhand books. One goal that I have for this new year is to explore new genres when it comes to my books. I normally read self-development, self-help books, romance novels, maybe historical novels, but my New Year reading list has one genre that I normally never choose, and that is thrillers and mystery books. I am such a baby. I never choose thrillers and mysteries, but I know that a lot of people enjoy them. I want to say that I have a very mixed reading list this year. I also have mentioned some of these books in my previous vlog, so if you watched that vlog, you will already recognize some of these books. But let's start. The first book that I have here is called The Other Miss Bridgerton, and it is by the author Julia Quinn. Some of these books are part of series, I want to say that. So let's see what this book is all about. Also, the main character has my name. Her name is Poppy. Poppy Bridgerton may be fiercely independent and adventurous, but even she was not prepared to be kidnapped by pirates from the Dorset coast. Despite his reputation as a rascal and reckless privateer, Captain Andrew James Roxby is stunned to find Poppy tied up and waiting for him in his cabin. Can two wrongs make the most perfect right? So this sounds like it's going to have some adventure and romance in it. The next book that I'm going to read is this one, Before the Coffee Gets Cold. Such a popular book. It has been a popular book for a while now. So to my understanding, this is going to be all about a coffee shop where people can go to order coffee and time travel. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have different stories from different people. The book takes place in Tokyo, which also sounds wonderful. Tokyo is definitely one of my dream destinations. So I'm excited to dive into the journeys that these customers are going to have to their past. Hopefully I will like it, we will see. As soon as I finish any of these books, I will always have updates on my channel. The next book that we have is a thriller slash mystery. It is by Harlan Cobain and it's called Home. For 10 long years, 2 boys have been missing. Now you think you've seen one of them. He's a young man and he's in trouble. Do you approach him? But how can you be sure it's really him? You thought your search for the truth was over. It's only just begun. So it says that a son goes missing and a stranger comes home. I haven't searched in-depth details for any of these books. I just have read the descriptions for them, and I don't know, because I have so many thriller mystery books now, I'm kind of confused. I have read all the descriptions and I don't know which one is which, because right now they feel like they are sort of the same story, even though this might sound truly silly because maybe the books are completely different, but I remember I was reading the descriptions and everything was blending in together in my head. The next book we have is by Lisa Gardner. It's called Before She Disappeared. Frankie Elkin spends her life doing what no one else will do, searching for missing people the world has stopped looking for. A new case brings her to Boston and a neighborhood with a bad reputation. She is searching for Angelique Bedeau, who vanished from her high school months earlier. But when Frankie starts asking questions, she hits resistance from the Boston PD and from Angelique's family. Ooh, that's sketchy. And she soon realizes that the next person to go missing might be her. Why do I feel like I never read that description and that it is the first time that I'm reading it? This sounds pretty good, I will be honest. This sounds pretty good. Also, if you have read any of these books, let me know your opinion about it. I would love to know, but without giving any spoilers. The next book that we have is by Matt Haig, The Midnight Library, another very popular book. Nora's life has been going from bad to worse. Then at the stroke of midnight, on her last day on Earth, she finds herself transported to a library. There she's given the chance to undo her regrets and try out each of the other lives she might have lived, which raises the ultimate question: with infinite choices, what is the best way to live? That is a very good question. So this sounds very interesting. Next up, we have The Keeper of Stories by Sally Page. Cleaner Janice knows that it is in people's stories that you really get to know them. When Janice starts cleaning for Mrs. B, a shrewd and tricksy woman in her 90s, she finally meets someone who wants to hear her story. But Janice is clear, she is the keeper of stories. She doesn't have a story of her own, at least not one she can share. Mrs. B is no fool and knows there is more to Janice than meets the eye. After all, doesn't everyone have a story to tell? So I'm not really sure under which genre this book falls under. I'm pretty sure maybe it does under fiction and mystery, but I think that this is not a thriller at all. Also, let's take a moment to appreciate the cover. It's so beautiful. I just love it with the butterflies and the blue color and the flowers. Gorgeous. The next book that I have is by Lisa Joel, and it is called The Truth About Melody Brown. So it seems that this book is about a 30-something-year-old woman. Yeah, she's in her early 30s. She already has a son, and apparently when she was 9 years old, her house caught on fire, and she cannot remember anything before her 9th birthday. So I'm pretty sure this is going to have some mystery in it as well. Also, this is a second-hand book, and someone left it in this page. They left it at chapter 15. Was it boring after that? And they donated it. The next book that we have is called Inner Harbor by Nora Roberts. This small little book. And since it is small, it's going to have small letters. I mean, okay, it's not too bad, because when books have tiny letters, I just feel like my eyes get very tired. So let's see what this book is all about. Philip Quinn has done everything to make his life perfect. With his career on fast track and a beautiful home overlooking the inner harbor, his childhood on the streets is firmly behind him. Philip is determined to secure the same stable home for his adopted brother, Seth. But when Dr. Sybil Griffin arrives in town, Seth's future with Philip is threatened. And while Sybil cannot deny her own growing feelings for the intense and mysterious Philip Quinn, the secret she hides has the power to shatter the brothers' lives forever. So I guess this is mystery and a bit of romance. We will see. So this is definitely a thriller and a mystery. I can tell by the cover and the title, Hide and Seek. This is not giving me good vibes, I will be honest. So you see, this type of book is normally not my cup of tea. But anyways, this is a book from Ian Rankin, definitely out of our comfort zone. And one thing that is pulling me closer to that book is that it takes place in Edinburgh. Edinburgh is one of my dream destinations as well. Other than that, it sounds a bit dark for my liking. A junkie lies dead in an Edinburgh squat, spread-eagled on the floor between two burnt down candles. Oh my god. Just another dead addict no one cares about. But when Rebus starts to investigate, the death looks more and more like murder. The deeper he digs, the closer he gets to the dark heart of the city unfamiliar to tourists and the darkest corners of his own mind. This is going to be read by me during the daytime. Hopefully I will finish it. I don't know. Next up we have a novel. This is not a thriller. Okay, we're making a lighter change, even though I'm not sure if this is going to be a light book. I think this is going to be quite of a moving, emotional book. This is by Lisa Genova and it's called Still Alice. Alice is just 50 when she finds herself in a downward spiral, increasingly disoriented and forgetful. A university professor, wife and mother of 3, she has books to write, places to see, grandchildren to meet. But now a tragic diagnosis of early onset Alzheimer's disease is set to change her life and her relationship with her family and the world forever. Losing her yesterdays, living for each day, her short-term memory is hanging by a frayed thread. But she is still Alice. And so I'm pretty sure this is going to be a book that is going to make me cry. Looking forward to that. The next book we have is by the wonderful Kazuo Ishiguro, and it is the book called Never Let Me Go. In one of the most acclaimed novels of recent years, Kazuo Ishiguro imagines the lives of a group of students growing up in a darkly skewed version of contemporary England. Narrated by Kathy, now 31, Never Let Me Go dramatizes her attempts to come to terms with her childhood at the seemingly idyllic Hailsham school and with the fate that has always awaited her and her closest friends in the wider world. A story of love, friendship, and memory. Never Let Me Go is charged throughout with a sense of fragility of life. One of my all-time favorite books is The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro, so I'm very excited about Never Let Me Go because it has some amazing reviews, and apparently a lot of people say that this is one of his all-time best books, so I'm truly excited to start this one. Next up, I think we have, a thriller. It says it up here. It is by Mark Greeny and it's called On Target. 4 years ago, Cord Gentry was betrayed by his handlers in the CIA. To survive, he has had to eliminate his own brothers in arms. Now, as a master assassin known as the Grey Man, he makes his living killing other people. But when an old comrade he thought dead returns to haunt him, his own life is put in the crosshairs. The man wants Cord to complete a mission, but instead of an assassination, the job will entail a nearly impossible kidnapping, and Cord must return his quarry to the very CIA team that turned on him. So, sounds like this is going to have a pretty dark energy to it, and it feels like this is going to have some action scenes, so it's going to be like a thriller slash action movie in my mind when I read it. The next book we have is called The Man I Think I Know by Mike Gale. Ever since the incident, James DeWitt has stayed on the safe side. He likes to know what happens next. Danny Allen is not on the safe side. He's more past the point of no return. But it's funny the way life is sometimes. Just when you think you know how everything is, it surprises you. So as I read back here, it says that this is going to be a powerful story of male friendship. So this sounds like it's going to be a bit moving and like a very nice story. The reviews back here also say that you will be laughing and on the edge of tears. This sounds pretty good. The next book I have is again a thriller and it is by Harlan Cobain. It's called The Boy from the Woods. 30 years ago, he was found in the New Jersey backwoods with no idea of where he'd come from. Now a decorated former soldier, he still prefers to live outdoors alone. When a local girl goes missing, Wilde is asked to use his unique skills to find her. To do so, he must return to a community where he has never fitted in, where the powerful are protected even when they are keeping secrets. Dangerous secrets that can kill, and which Wilde must expose before it's too late. So what I'm hoping for with all of these thrillers and mysteries is that we're going to have a lot of plot twists and that they will keep me on my toes. You know, I might think that someone else is to blame or someone else is the killer, let's say, or I might think that I have solved the mystery in my head, but I want to be proven wrong. You know, I want to have that good plot twist that I have heard other people talk about when it comes to mystery and thrillers. Okay, I took a quick break because I had to drink water. I have been talking so much, and also I'm pretty sure that I have mispronounced a few names here, but obviously I'm not American, nor Canadian, nor English. I am Greek, so I am indeed mispronouncing some words and some names. So we were talking about True Believer. Following his brutal quest for revenge, former Navy SEAL James Reese has fled the United States, emerging deep in the wilds of Mozambique. But he can't stay hidden for long. When a string of horrific terrorist attacks plagues the Western world, the CIA tracks him down and recruits him. Now a reluctant tool of the United States government, Reese must travel the globe targeting terrorist leaders and unraveling a geopolitical conspiracy that will have worldwide repercussions. This book was gifted to me. This is definitely not the type of book that I would have chosen myself. Let's see if I'm going to end up reading it during this year. I will try to start it, but I don't know if it will keep me interested. Oh, it has some words that are hidden. Our next book is called Private Rogue, and it is by James Patterson. A wealthy businessman approaches Jack Morgan, head of Private, with a desperate plea to track down his daughter and grandchildren, who have disappeared without a trace. What at first seems to be a simple missing persons case soon escalates into something much more deadly. As Jack uncovers more of the woman's backstory, the trail leads towards Afghanistan, where Jack's career as a US Marine ended in catastrophe. Jack will need to face the trauma of his past to save a family's future. Now, you get what I mean when I said before that some of these descriptions blend in together. I feel like this description just blends in with other descriptions that I just read. Finally, a book that has nothing to do with thrillers and mysteries. This is called The Millionaire Next Door. This is a book all about millionaires, how they do it, where they spend their money, where they invest, where they shop, what they drive. I feel like a lot of us have a specific picture about millionaires in our minds, and we feel like they all dress a certain way and they spend their money in a certain way. But I feel like this is not reality, and this is not true, at least not for a lot of millionaires. Alright, the second to last book that I have here, I am actually very excited to start reading. It is called The Maidens, and it is by Alex Michailidis. He is the author of the best-selling book The Silent Patient. I'm pretty sure everybody has heard of The Silent Patient. I have never read it, but hey, since I decided to read different genres this year, I thought that The Maidens sound very good and very interesting. So you are invited to join The Maidens. The Maidens are Cambridge University's most exclusive society, whose members are selected by the charismatic professor of Greek tragedy, Edward Fosca. When one of the maidens is murdered, grieving young therapist Mariana Andros is drawn back to the idyllic campus where she was once herself a student. Because beneath the university's ancient traditions and beauty is a web of secrets, jealousy, and lies. And when the killer threatens the person she loves most, Mariana will give anything to stop them, even her own life. I don't know, but this sounds very great. Even though this is a mystery thriller type of book, it sounds really good to me. And the last and final book that we have is called The Black Echo by Michael Connelly. For LAPD homicide detective Harry Bosch, the body founder of Mulholland Drive, is more than just another murder. This one is personal, because the victim, Billy Meadows, was a fellow veteran who fought alongside Harry in the Vietnam War. It's the start to a case that will take Bosch on a dangerous journey through Los Angeles, pushing his survival instincts to the limit. Battling against the enemies in his own department and the FBI, Harry must choose between going by the book and getting revenge. This is also one of the books that I feel like it blends in with other books that I gave you the description on. But this is going to be my 2024 reading list as for now. I'm not sure if I will end up reading all of these. Maybe some of these are going to be DNF for me, did not finish. But for most of these books, I feel like I am very excited to start them. And also I tried to push myself and go out of my comfort zone with some of these books, because you might think that something doesn't sound that interesting and it's not your cup of tea, and then you end up loving it. So since it is one of my goals to try out different genres this year and different authors that I have never read from before, I thought that these were some pretty good options. I would love to know some of the books that are in your 2024 reading list. I think I have talked a lot. I need some water. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye friends!
We used to have each other's playlists. No, used to be each other's best friends. Yeah, and now we go our separate pathways. But your heart